It is a beautiful night in the Missouri Ozarks, and I just figured I'd take you for a walk with me. I will show you a little bit about what we got going on the farm in the fields right now. So behind me we have our hay field that we're getting ready to hay. It has definitely been kind of a juggling act this year with because we only have about 20 acres that we are using, and that includes like the area around our house. So our main pasture area is really only about 13-14 acres that we use for pasturing all of our animals. And so we are growing our hay back, and it's been a very rainy year. So while we are blessed with rain, that means that anyone that is doing hay right now is probably behind on it because they don't have the ability to do it with the rain and let it dry out. So anyhow, we're waiting to get our field hayed, and that gives us only about 6 or 7 acres that we've been managing all of our animals on. We thankfully were able to lease property from our neighbor this year and be able to add some of their land to our grazing program. So we used that this year a little bit as a sacrifice lot to allow our hay field to grow back. And we're kind of juggling between the two properties. So it's been fine, but it's definitely been a juggling act. This is our area of our chicken tractors. They're not really following our cattle at this point, but they are in an area where we can keep a better eye on them from the house, and we're concentrating all their fertilization in this front pasture area, whereas last year we focused on this area with them. Okay, so that's what we have going on currently in our front pasture. I think I explained in the other video why we're doing what we're doing with our birds. We have grazed our sheep down our main lane here, and so they've all already been in this space. And then Sean came through and mowed it after they've grazed it, so they had the ability to utilize all the forage and stuff that was here as well. But it's been a really bad tick year, so keeping the grass in the lane low makes it a little more pleasant for us to be out here and walking through here, because we don't seem to get quite as many ticks on us. We also are working on clearing this area through our woods that goes to our front pasture, the part that's closest to the road. And so our plan is to take out 3 of these trees in the middle of the lane and use them for firewood for our family. So we've already taken out like a lot of the little ones, but these 3 in the middle, we plan on taking those ones out. One of them is actually a cherry, wild cherry, and so we're waiting until our cows come through this area to take it down, because if they eat any of the wilted foliage after it's been taken down, they can actually get really sick and potentially die from eating any of that wilted foliage. So we want to wait until they go through there, and then we will take those down, and then this lane should be a lot easier to get our equipment, our tractors, anything through and maintain this space. And that should be good. So it'll be more like this on the other side all the way through. Because our sheep have grazed all the way through here, he continued to mow straight to the end, and it's been really nice to just be able to take a walk down the lane at night. This is the area our cows are going into. Give you a sense of what's in there. And we still don't have permanent watering system out here. So we have to run a series of hoses out into this front pasture, and then little by little we bring out their minerals using a dolly, and they get salt and minerals, free choice minerals. But it's working okay. And then we have our electric wire set up. They just came back this past week to this front field from our neighbors, and we were able to bring them down the back fence line all the way out to our first paddock. And so now they've started grazing back in this direction towards the house. This is Molly and Tilly. So on the left is Tilly, our first dairy cow, and Molly is her baby. She gave us a beautiful little A2 Jersey. She is hopefully pregnant with her first calf. She was bred by a registered full-blood South Pole bull, and so what she gives us will be 50% South Pole and 50% Jersey. And then the rest of our cows are South Poles. We have one steer in there that's going to be processed this fall. We have a new heifer from this past fall, and then the one with the white face, he was kind of a surprise on Thanksgiving Day out of one of our 50% South Pole girls that we had originally purchased to raise as a steer for meat. So she gave us another steer that we will raise up also as grass-finished beef, but he won't be ready for another 2 years or so. Until then, he will get the best life. And we're getting ready to fence line wean him. These two will be fence line weaning soon, which would mean that we put them in a paddock nearby and we separate them by electric fences so they still get to see their mom. They see each other. It reduces the stress of, being completely separated, but it breaks them from nursing on their mothers, gives their mother a chance to recover before their next calf and regain her condition, and wean them over time with them still feeling like they're part of a herd. And it worked well with Molly, and we have in our other steer, Buddy, and so hopefully it will work with these guys. Although this guy, he's a little tricky when it comes to electric fences because sometimes he will test them and walk right through them, so I hope that does not happen. Hey, handsome. How are the sheep?
Good.
I'm going to go take a look at them. Okay. Show everybody what's going on with the sheep. All right, so because it's Sunday, we knew we had to make sure everybody had fresh water, but we doubled, really like quadrupled up this paddock for them so that we would not have to move animals on Sunday and we could just have a relaxing family day. And it has been quite nice.
It has.
We today's a feast of Corpus Christi for us, and so we were able to have a beautiful procession at our church and spend time together as a family, and it's been really nice just being together. So we've been trying to be more purposeful about like our chores, making them so on Saturday so that Sunday is easier to just relax. So and rest, yes. So this week I set up some imperfect but functionable high tensile wire, and I use these lockjaw clips. So there's a reason that they are the way that they are right now, but these are all set up this way, and they are much, would you say they're hotter?
I think so.
I think they're hotter than the poly wire strands that we had before. And so they did a very good job of keeping in the cows. This is not really set up for the sheep yet, but it's been nice to be able to just already have that done. And we did not string it all the way to the end so that when we hay, we can come straight through into this paddock and continue to hay. So this is not perfect, but you know what, sometimes you just have to do it even though it's not perfect, and just do what's going to work for you, make things a little bit easier, and then down the road we'll be able to, you know, do everything just right. But
yeah, better done than not done.
Better done than not done, though. So we have to move this fence into the area that the sheep are going into tomorrow. But they had a nice big section for today where they came in after the cows. Everybody ate all this milkweed, which Googling got me so nervous about it because I thought for sure everything was going to, you know, poison itself and die. Google gets you really nervous, but evidently they were just fine. And so they came in here and they grazed everything behind the cows. And then now they are in this last paddock. Hello, ladies. Everybody seems quite happy. And then what they'll do is we'll continue to set up electric netting fence all along our back fence behind the cows. We'll go in that direction, the same direction the cows are going. And they will keep our back fence line that we had cleared by a forestry mulcher this year. They'll keep that all nice and clear. This tree also had a lot of like low growing branches. It had gotten broken in a really bad storm last year. And so it was very hard to kind of string wires around it. Even though it was a good shelter tree, it was a challenge. So we trimmed all that up, got that out of the way so that this is a lot easier to string fence lines underneath. How's it been?
10 times better.
10 times better, right? So much easier. These are some of our new babies. So cute. There's Tux and Kit Kat. Those are Clara's babies. Oh, he's already acting like a bull. Oh, man. I mean, not a bull. A ram. So we are only expecting 3 more of our ewes to give birth, and it would probably be closer to the end of summer, beginning of fall. Everybody else is done for this season and hopefully bred back. They are all doing well. Anyhow, the reason that we are bringing them into the area where the cows were is because I mentioned in another video, multi-species grazing means like utilizing your land and having different animal species on the same property, on the same amount of space, and managing it in such a way that the land can benefit the best from it. So this, you know, offers different types of fertilization, concentrated in each area where they are, but the type of parasite species that affect cows are not the same as the ones that would affect sheep and vice versa. And so when the sheep are grazing in the area where the cows have been, they naturally will ingest some of the parasites that the cows may have left behind, and then that they die off in their rumen and they help break the parasite life cycle for the cows. And so grazing them together is beneficial for both species. So that's part of the reason that we run them behind the calves. That, and that they will catch some of the things that the cow didn't graze, and then they will eat all the stuff that they didn't. and it's a good way to make sure that any of the undesirable species on your property get managed. They get taken care of. They don't always go to seed just because they don't get eaten and touched. So the animals will naturally just go to the things that they like. And then they will.
So if the cows go ahead and eat everything that they like first, and only thing left is the weeds, the sheep love the weeds.
Right, they go in. So it doesn't allow all that bad stuff to just go to seed, and then eventually over time that'll destroy your pasture, because you know, if all they're eating is the stuff they like all the time, every time they go through.
Because the sheep would just eat the grass or the stuff they like too and not eat the weeds. But when there's nothing else left,
that's what they go and they eat.
That's what they're going to take care of.
And they just kind of clean it up. And so, and also having the cows not have access to everything all the time allows, you know, they also will be forced to eat a little bit more of the undesirable stuff. And so then it just gets managed better. It doesn't go, all the bad stuff doesn't just go to seed while the good stuff gets eaten, and,
Right.
you know, no longer has a chance to go to the seed on your property. So anyhow, that's why we do it the way that we do it. It's a little bit more work, but over time, you know, we don't pay for we don't pay for fertilizer, and you know, so our work goes into managing the land so that over time it
will get easier.
It gets easier. It gets, you know, your land is healthier. So anyhow, that's why we're doing it the way that we're doing it. And it is just beautiful tonight. So yeah, the sheep will come up this way. They'll continue to graze behind the cows. The cows will push in that direction and graze. And then they'll give this a chance to recover before they come back on it. And then we'll be haying that whole side over there, hopefully within the next couple of weeks or so. And so that can start to just grow back for while we still have rain for grazing later in the summer. And then we'll have food for the winter. Hay prices were so high this year, and God took care of us, but this is going to be such a blessing just to have it stockpiled for the winter, because you just never know what the weather is going to do. So that's a little walk through our pasture. Look how beautiful it is out here. You should see it at night when it all full of fireflies. It ends up looking like a fairyland.
Yeah.
So we love that. We were driving down the driveway today, and we had butterflies on a bunch of milkweed in the driveway, and they were just kind of flying all over the car, and dragonflies going by, and kids were talking about the fireflies in the fields at night, and we were saying how we feel like we live in a fairyland. You know, it's just it's beautiful. So anyhow, that's what we have going on. And
Went through a whole bunch of bugs.
You ran through bugs. Can you say hi to everybody back home? Say like, subscribe, and share
Like, subscribe, and share the Film Family Farm.
to help follow the adventures of our family of 8
Yes.
who moved cross country
Yes.
from Massachusetts to the Missouri Ozarks to start.
Farm.
Did we have any experience when we came?
Yes.
We did?
Oh, I thought you meant like experience, like
Did we know what we were doing when we moved?
no. But I thought you meant like experiments, like science experiments.
Oh, science experiments. Yes, we did do science experiments. Have we learned a lot since we've been here?
Yes, I've learned that some cows just lay on the ground and look like they're dead.
Some cows just lay on the ground and look like they're dead. Glad he's learned something. So, anyhow,
You know what
hope
this
you have a
is?
great day. Random fun fact before I leave this video. Sean just pasture right near the road. We have a whole big patch of asparagus that we knew nothing about. So hopefully they'll come back next year and we'll be able to.
If we remember.
If we remember, we always forget about the asparagus. So. we don't really know what we're doing, so we're just doing our best, and sometimes that's the best you can do. Have a great day.